Yo, time is 6:30 a.m. Ho 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 ho. Imagine I'm gonna get the police. Oh, you're not allowed to say that you don't like New Zealanders and you think some of them should go away. I wanna go to jail, bro. I wanna go to jail for saying that some people should be eradicated. How is that worse than like what they've already done to me, bro? How is that worse? Look at what they do to me, bro. I think it's fair. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair thing to say. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, he's got. How's this 12 years and he's got none, bro? Wherever I wish upon a star that you come over, occupy my. I thought this girl on Discord wasn't gonna reply to me. I thought she got pissed that I was too honest, that I was like negative in my comment. I thought that's what she was gonna be, cause like that's just what a lot of people here are like. Maybe I misjudged her. She actually replied to me. Just took a couple days. This news is so boring. Oh, there's so many ads, bro. Where are they going? I don't understand. Don't ads usually have like a purpose? Aren't they supposed to be organized and shit? What are they actually doing then? Why do they keep coming into my room if there's no food? Where are they going? Supernova. Kind of crazy how they did a song with David Guetta. This one's weird. It's the barber shop sign, bro. That song was quite long. I was surprised. Ooh, 500k, thank you. Free money. India's fucking trash, bro. Why do they keep voting for such bad leadership? Classic democracy. Honestly, it'd be better if somebody else ruled them. These people get annoying. I want to play solo. When does this girl sleep, bro? What the fuck? When does she sleep? Like, from 12 a.m. to like 12 midday to like, um, I don't know. Look at me, look at me. Yeah, twice is clearly the best, bro. Like, come on. Come on. I want to play solo because these people are kind of annoying. Fuck flag is that? Somalia. Somalia's not even fucking in the World Cup. What do these people have their flags up for? Eritrea. Who's proud of being from Eritrea, bro? Take that shit down. That's like North Korea in Africa, bro. Literally. Eritrea is literally fucking North Korea in Africa. Shit's insane. Why do you need flags of the place you're already in? Don't people already know that they're there? It's like, what are they for? Is, I assume this is like a French flag, but it could be another flag when you hang it like that. Yeah, I would not be hanging the New Zealand flag. I don't like this place. People ask you where you're from, and they derive like assumptions from it, right? Everyone says New Zealand is a nice place. No, it's not. That's just what foreign propaganda that they sell to foreigners tells them about it. This tells you nothing about what the country's really like. It's not real. This is not a nice place, really. What's nice about it? You know what's you know what sucks about living in a bad like country and shit is like you get the impression that like oh every country is gonna be like this in some way. Like I'll go somewhere else and I'll just struggle in like other areas or even the same areas, you know. It'll be like the same or different issues, but this like same or even more issues, which is possibly not true, but you get this impression when the place you live in is like quite bad, you know. Even if I went to like China, I mean the thing is, like I said to this guy, like bro, I can't stay there. Like the visa lasts like a month. It's like a month visa free, you know, and then you have to leave. I really can't afford staying for a long time either. Like I don't have that much money because my income's really low. So yeah, like I mean, what am I what am I supposed to do? Like it's expensive, right? I feel like I'd have so much anxiety. I don't know though. Sometimes I can't tell where it comes from. Because it's kind of ironic. Like, I have a lot of anxiety when I'm, like, dealing with people from, like, this country. You know, because a lot of them are, like, a lot of them are bad people. Other ones are just, the interaction is, like, uncomfortable. Okay? It's, like, uncomfortable. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. The whole style, you know, and that's the culture. You know, maybe if I went to East Asian countries, I wouldn't feel that anxiety. Right? Maybe it'd be easier. I feel like some orange juice. Oh, there's pineapple juice in the fridge. I'll just get that. The start of this one's weird. Or it's not the start. There's a bit where they just like talk. think I've seen his Twitter before. That's right. Yeah, that's the guy. Why are their websites always like this, bro? It's weird. Japan does the same kind of thing. Taiwan question. Not really a question to them, is it, though? China's so strict, though. Like, they probably will just, like, kick me out. They do so much compromisation, bro. Compromising. This is the butt. There's this weird ass bit in this part of the song where she just like talks. Cringe. Did he post this twice? Okay. Why does it do this? It says 2 comments and there are 2 comments. How the fuck did they train them to do that, bro? That's what it looks like. Look at all this shit, bro. Look at all this infrastructure. Oh yeah, what have we got in New Zealand? The fucking Sky Tower. which is a casino. Jesus Christ. That guy's a piece of shit. These bureaucrats are all out of touch, bro. Living in their own little world. What are we doing, bro? Da-na-na-na-na. Either way, I'm good. I'm getting bored of this game, bro. I need to find something else to play. I've driven this city. This city's so dull. When's Six coming out? Like, November or something. That's fucking ages away. That's like 5 months away. That's like actually like 5 months away. Da, 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 da. Out the way. I didn't even hit anything and I got a play style. What the fuck? Du, du, du. Yeah, Chinese probably don't give a shit, bro. On further consideration, it's not like they're in the fucking Mao era. Even when they were, it was still socialism in one country, you know? Well, they defended, like, North Korea, which I guess was something. It wasn't nothing. They have that fucking Asia New Zealand Foundation. Why don't they just make a China New Zealand Foundation? Why is it Asia? We already know what like South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, we already know what they're like. Like, we already have close relations with those countries. Bit of trade, politically friendly. Where's the potential there? What like the you say like this like capitalist and like revolutionary shit. That is from like changing things. The revolutionary stuff comes from changing things. We're gonna become enemies? I don't think so. So where's the opportunity there then? There isn't any. We've already done everything, right? There's opportunity with China because you could become more friendly and closer with China, right? some people think we should be even more enemies with them. And that's the revolution, is like going backwards, right? Yeah, sometimes I think a lot of these bureaucrats just say stuff to like rally the people about, but then in practice, they're not gonna do any of it. They don't have real drive. Show me a leader these days that has real drive, real vigor, you know? Show me one. Show me a leader who is not just like another sort of corrupt, self-serving bureaucrat who doesn't really have the people's best interests. I feel like, look, in China, yeah, maybe the leadership has people's best interests a bit more than in these countries. You know, they take a more active approach at actually helping people to a degree. Um, I mean, they're all tied to the bureaucracy. I mean, that's the fucking problem, right? And bureaucracy is what are the characteristics of bureaucracy? Let's explain. Let's break it apart. The characteristics of bureaucracy are that they are slow, they take forever to do anything, right? Because they consider every little possibility, they're very unwilling to take risks. This is how they are as like an institution. They take forever, and they're largely self-serving. Like, their main interest is protecting the bureaucracy, not actually serving the people, right? You can see this um, yeah, in most countries. And this is why people's opinion of politicians is that they're just corrupt and self-serving. If they serve the bureaucracy, they probably will be, right? And then a lot of the ones that serve themselves are not like some group or actual section of the population, you know, like people who are not doing very well. They're also like self-serving. Fuck off. Got my videos taken down and sent to jail for hate speech. I don't think that's a crime yet, fortunately. It's like one of the few rights we're supposed to have here is that you can say stuff and not go to jail for it. You can make criticisms. Fucking bullshit, bro. It's not that like that guy that they sent to jail for shooting pictures of Jacinda Ardern. That's a fucking joke. He got 6 years. That's more than like fucking murderers and rapists get. Jesus Christ. Why? Because Jacinda Ardern had a cult of personality, and criticizing her was like the equivalent of criticizing the state, because she was so heavily tied to the fucking country at that point in time. It was political. It was absolutely political. And the guy was a right winger, right? Trump fan and shit. It is fucking obvious that that was a politically motivated imprisonment. It wasn't just what he did. It was also like motivated by like you know, who it was done towards, right? If it were done towards anyone else, he probably wouldn't even received a prison sentence. It was only because it was Jacinda Ardern. You know, the country's cult of personality type leader, right? People are still big fans of Jacinda. It's disgusting. Like, do you not recognize that she didn't do the vast majority of the things she said she was going to do, right? What are we talking about? Shit was crazy. Capital gains tax didn't happen. Free university, 3 years, didn't happen. Right? And more, and many more. She could have done it, and she just chose not to. Because she said, oh, you know what? Fuck my voters. Fuck my voters. I'm just gonna, like, not do that shit, right? That's what she said. Fuck the people who voted for me for, you know, the things she said she was going to do, right? Promises made, promises discarded. Promises made, promises ignored. It's not hard for politicians to deliver, by the way. They just find a reason not to and then don't. She could have cut defense. She could have cut defense. I mean, that's an obvious one. You could have cut defense. This fucking retards like, oh, you know, they help out in like national disasters and the SAS does like terrorist incidents and all this shit. I don't think that the SAS is costing like billions of dollars, bro. There aren't that many people working for the SAS, right? You could just integrate them into the police. They don't cost that much. Most of the money is being spent on military stuff that we don't need. Like, I'm sure if you get a breakdown of what is the military budget actually spent on, what is the defense budget actually spent on, we can do that. Most of it goes to, like, paying salaries. You could just cut the defense force. Like, we don't need as many people as there are in it to, like, do national disaster relief and stuff. I guarantee they're not using, like, the whole fucking military when that stuff happens. You're using like a small percentage of it. Shit is absurd. I don't know why I was like arguing. I thought this was obvious. They're not pulling up like they're not pulling like thousands, like tens of thousands of people, are they? Military readiness. We don't need that. Ready for what? Ready for what? Nothing's happening and nothing's going to happen. And if it does, it'll probably be good. To lose. Territorial protection and overseas security. $621 million. What a waste. $1 billion on upgrades. China's just not revolutionary, and that's kind of the main problem. They're not revolutionary anymore. They've compromised to the point of like, it's just like, the main consideration is stability and making money, which is not really my main consideration. I mean, we are well beyond the fucking Maoist period, right? It's kind of funny the irony of like watching the East as red these days, because kind of like at the start they're like oppressed and shit, and it's kind of like aren't a lot of Chinese people today kind of oppressed as well? Like, isn't that kind of still ongoing to a degree? Like, I don't know. I don't mean like the rich ones who just want like democracy and freedom and shit. Like, that's one thing, but aren't a lot of Chinese kind of like slaving away in like factories and shit? Girls, girls. These ants are so annoying, bro. Get out of my room. How's it taken only like 10 minutes to upload? Like, stream was like 4 hours, wasn't it? Look, like, I respect it. I can kind of respect it, but at the same time, then they're not gonna help me, are they? Like, China doesn't care about me, you know? They're not coming to save me. And if I went there, they'd probably find something wrong with me and say, oh, you too much of a dissenter, blah, blah, blah. China is like a bureaucratic state these days. It's a state capitalist country run by a bureaucracy. It's not run by revolutionaries anymore. Mao was a revolutionary, right? And some of the early Communist Party leaders were revolutionaries. Xi Jinping is a bureaucrat. He's not a revolutionary. His whole history is being a bureaucrat. That's all he's ever been. He's never been a revolutionary. He wasn't there when they did the fucking Long March and all this shit. He hasn't had this basis. He's just a bureaucrat, right? What's the opposite of revolutionary? Like status quo. Or stability focused. They fight for the status quo. It's very similar to neoliberalism. Ever after? That took so long to load this image, bro. What the fuck? Is it normal for girls in China that play sport to have short hair? They don't even like Maoism in China anymore. They got rid of it. Mao did some bad things for sure, but like, that's kind of the history, you know? It's like, why are they ignoring it? Where is it? War and Peace. Correct hand. That's interesting. The correct hand. Did he actually write this stuff or what? I think it's from his speeches and stuff. How did he know all of this though? I study Marxism and then I forget like all of it. I'm like, my recall is terrible. I can like if someone says something, I can remember it, but I can't bring it. I can't like pull it out of nowhere. We are confronted by two. This is called the correct handling of contradictions among the people. We are confronted by two types of social contradictions: those between ourselves and the enemy, and those among the people themselves. The two are totally different in their nature. Okay. Two different types. Contradictions. People in the enemy. Building socialism. People who work for socialist construction of the people. Social forces that resist it. Hostile enemies of the people. That's the contradiction arising from the bureaucratic style of work of certain government workers and their relations with the masses. Isn't that a thing like everywhere? That's like everywhere, bro. These bureaucrats who are like purely bureaucratic and have like no real experience interacting with people. They don't know what it's like to live actual lives, because bureaucrat is like all they've ever been. People's basic identity of interests underlies the contradictions among people. How should right be distinguished from wrong in one's word and actions on the basis of the principles of Constitution, the will of overwhelming majority, common political positions which have been proclaimed on various occasions by political parties and groups? This is kind of funny because this is true for like leftists today, which is that they do magnify contradictions between who they consider an enemy and themselves to the point that they consider like people who are also leftists to be enemies. I mean, I kind of do that, but it's like with the Trotskyists. I mean, the reason why I don't have any regard for them is they're never gonna do anything. All they do is write articles. That's all they'll ever do. I just think they're incompetent. It's those bureaucrat capitalists. That's what their country is today. It's ironic. That's what China is today. It's a bureaucratic capitalist country. That's what it is. They are bureaucrat capitalists. Their leadership is bureaucrat capitalist. Largely. It is state capitalist. They help the people not because they actually care about the people, but because it makes them money to do so. It makes economic sense. It gives them more stability. Controversial issues among the people is by democratic method of discussion, criticism, persuasion, and education, not by the method of coercion or repression. To be able to carry on their production and studies effectively and to arrange their lives properly, the people want their government and those in charge of production and of cultural and educational organizations to issue appropriate orders of an obligatory nature. It is common sense that the maintenance of public order would be impossible without such administrative regulations. Administrative orders and the method of persuasion and education complement each other in resolving contradictions among the people. Even administrative regulations for the maintenance of public order must be accompanied by persuasion and education, for in many cases regulation alone will not work. Inevitably, the bourgeoisie and petty bourgeoisie will give expression to their own ideologies. Inevitably, they will stubbornly express themselves on political and ideological questions by every possible means. You cannot expect them to do otherwise. We should not use the method of suppression and prevent them from expressing themselves, but should allow them to do so, and at the same time argue with them and direct appropriate criticism at them. Must undoubtedly criticize wrong ideas of every description. It certainly would not be right to refrain from criticism. Look on while wrong ideas spread unchecked and allow them to monopolize the field. Mistakes must be criticized and poisonous words fall wherever they crop up. However, such criticism should not be dogmatic, and the metaphysical method should not be used, but efforts should be made to apply the dialectical method. What is needed is scientific analysis and convincing argument. Yeah, well, that's a nice idea, but I'd really like some orange juice. To criticize the people's shortcomings is necessary, but in doing so, we must truly take the stand of the people and speak out of wholehearted eagerness to protect and educate them. To treat comrades like enemies is to go over to the stand of your enemy. Contradiction and struggle are universal and absolute, but the methods of resolving contradictions, that is, the forms of struggle, differ according to the differences in the nature of the contradictions. Some contradictions are characterized by open antagonism, others are not. In accordance with the concrete development of things, some contradictions which were originally non-antagonistic develop into antagonistic ones, while others which were originally antagonistic develop into non-antagonistic ones. Ordinary circumstances, contradictions among the people are not antagonistic, but if they're not handled properly, or if we relax our vigilance and lower our guard, antagonism may arise. In a socialist country, a development of this kind is usually only localized and temporary phenomenon. The reason is that the system of exploitation of man by man has been abolished, and the interests of the people are basically the same. That's it. There's not very many specifics, so it's kind of vague. Because the work is stressful or something? This is boring. He's not said anything cool yet. This is boring. I thought that was gonna be interesting. What was it called? He just says basic shit like the fucking like Sun Tzu is like, oh, fire can be effective against your enemies. This is like what that is. It's fucking lame. Lame and vague. How about on Revolution? Where's Revolution? There's nothing here. Revolutionary heroism. Well, that's a bit. What does Mao say about revolution? He was a revolutionary. There's nothing in this fucking book about revolution. Class struggle, okay. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, we know that. Who's gonna sell me orange juice? Yeah, maybe it's not possible here. Internal societal contradictions drive revolution. Marxism focuses on contradictions a lot. The contradiction, that sort of thing. The only people that sell orange juice are McDonald's and cafes. No, not cafes, supermarkets. Well, there's, fucking Denny's. What do you mean something went wrong? They sell naans at fucking Denny's. I thought it was American food. That's weird. There's a lot of contradictions between me and the people here, and I'd like to resolve them. But I mean, as it says, and as Mao has said, you have to consider it. There's like contradictions that you can resolve easily between, you know, between like similar people, or is this like, do you have to do something serious about this? Because it kind of seems like everything I try to do to fix it doesn't work. Because people are really unwilling to negotiate with me. Nobody negotiates with me. They just do whatever they want. And then I get trashed, right? That's what they like. Right? Like they are antagonistic contradictions, right? Antagonistic versus non-antagonistic contradictions. one of the main contradictions is the degree of struggle. Like, most New Zealanders just don't really struggle in their lives much, if at all. How can you have commonness between people whose style of life is so different? They don't struggle. They're not oppressed largely either. I mean, that's just the thing because New Zealanders don't really have this class consciousness because they don't really think of themselves as like oppressed because the degree of oppression is so low here, so it doesn't really feel like oppression, right? That's why they don't complain because they're free to find other jobs and could do so if they wanted to, and if they wanted to make more money, they could go to university. Like, this is why there isn't class consciousness because New Zealanders just don't struggle very much. It's a fundamental difference. They don't struggle very much, which means they don't develop consciousness, right? Not enough hardships, bro. Not enough hardships and then not enough education to direct them, to direct the energy. I don't really have an interest in helping people who don't struggle because they don't need it. And that's one of the big obvious contradictions is that some people struggle a lot, others have very easy lives. Further, some of the people who struggle a lot do so. They struggle because they're oppressed by the people who don't struggle very much, right? People who have easy lives actually go about oppressing people who don't. They actually go about making other people's lives more difficult, right? And these are the worst people. These are the antagonists of society. People who have easy lives but make an effort to make other people's lives more difficult, right? Contradictions everywhere, bro. Rich and poor, healthy and sick. Intellectual and anti-intellectual. You know, it's funny because like with something like ME/CFS, which is like a really bad sickness, the joke is like you can't convince the majority of people to fund it by giving arguments, and this is well established. There's a lot of research that shows how bad it is, yet countries just refuse to fund it because they don't want to. They don't want to fund it because it might cost money. And I don't feel like it's worth it, even though it's like largely known to be one of the worst sicknesses you can get. It's very limiting, right? Very, very limiting. Um, It's morning. Why did she say evening? What's the biggest one though? I don't know. What's the biggest contradiction? I feel like intellectual is just such a big one in Oceania. Like, it kind of is. Like, it kind of just is. It kind of just is the big one. That is the big one. One of the reasons why I like people from, like, East Asia more is they actually regard intellectualism as a good thing. It's, like, considered positive. People from Oceania think it's bad. Because they associate it with aristocracy, apparently. Why is aristocracy bad? What? Like, why are the things that aristocrats have bad? Like, I can say, yeah, sure, maybe, like, inherited power is not that great. Possibly, but why are we saying that, like, the things that aristocrats have, like, the qualities associated with them must be bad as well, then? That doesn't follow. Right? I can't. There's another one, and I can't remember what it is. This is just cool combinations. Like Korea. Yeah, like Che Guevara. He was kind of stupid, though. Like, he was too idealistic. Fidel Castro took advantage of him. Had him killed. Had him sent on these retarded ass missions, and then he died. Too idealistic. I think Lenin's like. Well, like, Che Guevara had some pretty good quotes, though. Free fox and a free chicken coop. That was a good one. He talks about free trade. Could be applied to free politics as well. People who just take it, it's like opportunism. People who just take advantage of the situation to push their own interests over other people's. Yeah, it's photo? I don't really like butter. Maple syrup. Bro, one piece. No, 2 pieces. 2 pieces of bacon's kind of crazy, bro. Wait. Take an actual photo. Like, do we have any intellectuals in Parliament? No. We have people with degrees. Some of them have degrees. But they're not actually intellectuals. A person with a degree who is not an intellectual is essentially like a tradesperson. You know, like they do their apprenticeship and they learn how to practice the trade. They're not like a revolutionary though, are they? They're not forming their own thing, necessarily. They like are following the instructions. It's not the same thing. It's like going to trade school. Bro, I was talking to this French guy. It was like, I forgot to reply to him for like 2 weeks because the conversation was boring as fucking shit. And I like to say to him, hey, have you watched any movies this year? Do you know what he says? Yes. How about you? I was like, what the fuck? Usually people say, yeah, I watched this and this and this. Okay, like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, yeah, I watched this and this and this. And then I said, what movies have you watched? He says, oh, a lot, but I can't remember them. A lot, but I can't remember. Oh, yeah. I said, right. Yeah, great fucking conversation, bro. Holy shit. Guy's like neurodivergent or something. In some kind of weird way. It's absurd. It's like you can't even talk to him. I can't tell if he's doing it on purpose or not. It's like so weird. And this is like every fucking question and shit I ask is like this. Like I asked him like, do you like France? He's like, no. I said, why? He's like, the people are stupid. He doesn't elaborate beyond that. He can't actually give me specific reasons why. It gives me the impression that he's an idiot. Like, my impression is he's kind of stupid or something. I don't like stupid people, they're annoying. Can't even talk to them. Jesus Christ. Should put some maple syrup on this. Just tastes like sugar. This song is Pig. How am I stuck? Oh, I was pressing the wrong thing. I like bacon. Apparently that's a hate crime in the UK now. It's racist to Muslims or something, whatever you call it, Islamophobic to say I like bacon. Struggling former empire starts taking its people's rights away. That's what the UK is, bro. They're in withdrawals. Now the bureaucrats are cracking down on the general population. Damn, where my doors gone? Maybe I shouldn't have asked for the eggs to be done like this. I said like well cooked or something. Bro, the yolk has... The yolk is like overdone, bro. Oh well. Hmm. uh... People probably think I'm just like my uncle, bro. Fucking hateful intellectual. Hateful and marginalized. Marginalized and hateful. Why do you think that is? Because we both know this country doesn't treat people like this very well. Not at all. It's very easy to become depressed like he is. I don't think I'm really depressed. I'm just unhappy. Like, I still do stuff. I got sickness. It's not really, like, I don't try to use it as an excuse. It's just like, that is another factor. It kind of limits my life. He's religious as well, so... means we can't really have intellectual discussions. How do you negotiate with a Catholic? Well, of course he's not going to be a communist. I can't talk to him about atheism either. Maybe I could talk to him about East Asian stuff. That kind of like is like what I'm like, right? Is like atheist, communist, East Asia fan. That's kind of like my intellectual sphere. I'm not just an atheist, by the way. I'm like also like an anti-Christian. Like Machiavelli and and Nietzsche is like anti-Christianity. It's not just atheism. It's also like anti-religion. I'm against religion. I'm not just an atheist. Like it goes further than that. Sinosphere. And I bet like I bet fucking South Koreans and Japanese and stuff hate that it's called the Sinosphere. It is though. Like, were their countries not heavily influenced by the Chinese? Yes, they were. Okay, that's their history. Like it or not, that's their history. Their history is being influenced by the Chinese. They have their own independent stuff as well, but that is the history. Is that has been heavy Chinese influence, right? Confucianism and all that. Why do they have such place importance on respecting their elders and like being you know, subservient to their parents? That's Confucianism. I don't agree with that, by the way, like, but that's what they do. Like it stifles freedom. Also, if you got bad parents, I mean, you kind of fucked. My parents are quite bad, so it doesn't appeal to me. I could talk to him about East Asia. He said, interesting story. He said he did Japanese in school. He gave up on it when he was like, oh, because you gotta learn like 1,000 characters, yeah, characters to like read a newspaper front page of a newspaper. So he gave up on it, but he was like, he was like, they used to. It's so weird. Like he said, like their class, this class, Japanese class, the Japanese language learning class, would go to like the ships at the port and like try to talk Japanese with like the Japanese sailors on these ships. It's crazy. Is this like the kind of shit people would do back then? Just go and do that shit. Like the teacher would take them there or something. He said they would go to like the cinema sometimes, the movie theater, and watch a Japanese movie, something like that. I don't know. I guess Japanese was really big back then. It must have been like 1970s or something. Hmm. really different time period back then. I told him that my friend from Japan said the problem with Japan is there's too many old people and he didn't like that. Maybe because he's old. Probably because he's old. Like, Lee Kuan Yew was like atheist. Kind of like anti-Christian, anti-religion. Sort of. And he's like East Asian. Sinosphere. If he was communist, he'd be like actually goated, but I guess communism wasn't the play for Singapore. He did kind of revolutionize his country, though. He was kind of a philosopher king in a sense. And I respect that. Can't touch that. That's kind of like, these are like the main points, you know? Kind of mainly what influences my thinking. I just want a politician I can sit down and have a beer with. country needs a king. We got enough politicians. I think it's time for, like, a monarch. Generalissimo or something. Strong leader. We've had enough politicians. King/Emperor. Get out of the way. British king doesn't even do anything. He has no power. It's just a symbol. People need a real king. Need a real leader. It doesn't have to be a king. Could be just another absolute leader. What do they call Kim Jong-un? He's like head secretary or like paramount leader? General secretary, that's what it's called. Secretary. I think Supreme Leader sounds a bit too religious. I think Dictator is better. It's just what it is, isn't it? Paramount Leader. Very sweet. It's the thing about, what's it called? Maple syrup. It's very sweet. Yeah, see? Who says that? Would you rather be killed than live a good life? Stupid thing to say. What a stupid thing to say. Yeah, that guy's an idiot. He's a Christian. Of course he would say that. He'd rather die than give up his stupid beliefs. C.S. Lewis. Fucking Christians, bro. Always a bastion of ignorance. There is no lack of domination. People are always dominated by some things. Freedom can lead to people dominating themselves. Getting onto drugs and stuff. No, it doesn't. Domination by its very nature does not prevent the development of individual agency and all that shit. He's just gonna say that because he's an American. He's an American who likes democracy. Of course he's gonna say that. Those criticisms are stupid. High quality autocrats are better at producing growth than the very best democratic leaders. Well, that's true, isn't it? Look at China. I think it's true. This is unsupported. Why is the characteristics section more criticisms? The fuck? How did these people get power? Tito was in the military. Lee Kuan Yew, I can't remember. I think he just started a political party or something. After the British left and they were in crisis. He was in law. so tired. I'm gonna lie down. Stupid piece of shit buttons. Okay, I'm gonna get off now.